This is BBC One and BBC One HD. Now the news at 1 o'clock with Emma Crosby.
A court has ordered a rerun of this year's general election campaign in the constituency of Oldham East and Saddleworth. The judges ruled in favour of a claim that the former Labour Minister Phil Woollas knowingly made false statements about the Liberal Democrat candidate.
We are applying for a judicial review of this decision, and we will be doing that as soon as we leave this building.
A fresh eruption of Mount Merapi in Indonesia has killed at least 60 people. Hospitals are treating many others suffering severe burns. More than 160 inmates have been moved to other jails after a third night of rioting at a prison complex in South Yorkshire. Members of the National Union of Journalists are holding a 48-hour strike at the BBC over changes to its pension scheme. And the Italian Renaissance masterpiece restored to its original glory after a painstaking 7-year-long makeover. Hello there and welcome to the BBC News. A specially convened election court has ruled that the former Labour Immigration Minister Phil Woollas knowingly made false statements about an opponent. As a result, a strike by members of the National Union of Journalists is disrupting BBC radio and television news programmes. Union members have walked out in a 48-hour stoppage over pensions. The action is due to end at midnight tomorrow, and more strikes are planned for the later in the month. Andrew Steele reports.
This is BBC Radio 4. Because of industrial action called by the National Union of Journalists, we are unable to bring you our scheduled programme.
Pickets were outside all BBC buildings today as the vast majority of the corporation's journalists went on strike. Programmes on radio and TV were affected, as well as the BBC News website. The walkout began at midnight and is scheduled to last 2 days in a dispute over changes to the pension scheme. While other BBC unions have accepted the changes, the NUJ wants to force the management to think again.
This is our future. We're all getting older, we're going to get old, and we want a decent pension. And the BBC has done this when there was no need to do this.
The NUJ described today's strike as incredibly solid and predicted that its impact would grow over the course of the next 2 days. BBC management says change has to happen.
We, like many other employers, are faced with a final salary, defined benefit, pension scheme that's no longer affordable or sustainable.
With another 48-hour stoppage due to start in 10 days' time, no one's predicting an early end to the dispute. Andrew Steele, BBC News.
This is BBC News and our top story now. A court has ordered a rerun of this year's general election campaign in the constituency of Oldham East and Saddleworth. Judges ruled in favour of a claim that former Labour Minister Phil Woollas knowingly made false statements about a rival candidate. And coming up, the Italian Renaissance masterpiece restored to its original glory after a painstaking 7-year-long makeover. The Royal Bank of Scotland, which is part owned by the tax
holder weekend. That's it for now. Back to you.
OK, Nick, for now, thanks very much. Let's have a quick reminder of our top story now for you. A specially convened election court has ruled that former Labour Immigration Minister Phil Woollas knowingly made false statements about an opponent. In the past few minutes, Mr Woollas has said he would be asking for a judicial review. That's all from the newsroom this lunchtime, but there is more on the BBC News channel throughout the afternoon and on BBC One. We can now join the BBC's news teams where you are.